You know what sound that is, folks? You betcha. That's another noon whistle. I'm Chris Trottier.
And I'm John Anzalone, and we're here today with Mr. Dolly and some youth apprenticeships. We got John, Hunter, and Brooke. Thank you guys for coming.
Of course.
Yeah, before we get going, how about we go down the line here? Maybe start with John and work our way to Brooke and tell us where your job is and who your mentor is at that job.
My name's John. I work at Southern Lakes Credit Union here in Elkhorn, and my boss is Megan Locke.
I'm Hunter. I work at R&L Spring Company in Lake Geneva, and my boss, his name is Jake.
I'm Brooke. I work over at Golden Years as a CNA, and my boss is Jenny Kirkpatrick.
All right. Mr. Dolly, where do you work? And tell us who's your mentor.
I work at Elkhorn Area School District here at the flagship high school, and I'll give Mr. Trottier as my mentor.
Yeah. Well, this is off to a bad start already. I'm just kidding. All right. So our school values this experience, and I think that's really important. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Mr. Anzalone's son was a youth apprentice. Is that correct, Mr. Anzalone?
That is correct. And it was an amazing experience and led him into a career of plumbing where he is willfully employed and making a lot of money.
Where at?
He's at Southern Lakes, and he's in the middle of his apprenticeship. So a few more years and he'll be a journeyman and, yeah, move on to those big dollars for those plumbers. But, yeah, it set him on the right path, and he's on his way, and I can't say enough about it.
All right, so we're gonna just talk a little bit. We'll go right down the line. We'll start with John. What do you love about the youth apprenticeship experience? Just kind of, and then we'll keep going and end with Brooke. Go ahead.
Sure. I really like about being able to talk and learn about different types of people, being able to communicate with different types of people, and the different pathways that it can take me. I am a teller at Southern Lakes, but there's plenty other opportunities I can have if I stay with the company for a few more years. I get to watch people who work with loans or mortgage payments, things like that. And that's just really a good opportunity that it can take me to.
I'm Hunter, and so what I really like about it is that it's kind of relaxed, and I'm not really getting forced to do a lot of things really quickly. And my coworkers, they really treat me like I'm just a normal person and not a youth apprentice. And I just feel like it's a whole lot better than a regular job where they would have treated me like I'm lesser because I'm younger. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Brooke, what about you?
I really like the experience that I get to have working with nurses and other CNAs because I'm learning more about like medical terminology and everything. And then on top of that, I also have the ability to participate in after-school activities because I work in the morning and then go to school.
And then, John, what sports are you into?
I play football, and I also do lacrosse in the spring.
Hunter, are you in any extracurriculars?
No, I'm not.
So when you look at this experience, what have you really learned the most, or like what was kind of your most, obviously you guys have a career interest in this field. What has been like the biggest difference from going from like the classroom to the work experience and getting mentored in that area? Like, what are you learning the most, basically? John, we'll start with you and go right down the line.
I learned, honestly, it's been kind of surprising. When I got into it, I was thinking I was going to learn a lot about accounting and finance, but one of the biggest things I learned, at least first, was how to communicate with people. And I know that's a really big, important thing you need to know how to do in careers, but as well as just that, but also counting money, being able to handle money, things like that, as well as learning how it's not just a really step-by-step process. There's a lot of different things, and that's a big part to me because it's not very, every day is different, and I enjoy that a lot.
I love that you mentioned communication.
Yeah.
Hunter, Brooke, do you think it's enhanced your communication, especially with adults?
Yeah.
Yeah. In what way?
I love the fact that we said communication and Hunter gave us a one-word answer.
It's all
I
right.
love it, buddy. That's right. You're in manufacturing. Just make stuff, right? No,
Yeah.
but Hunter, elaborate on that a little bit. Like, how has it improved your communication? Like, what have you learned about your communication?
Well, it's kind of a lot easier to talk to adults because I'm constantly getting told like what I need to get done and how it needs to be done, and just I know that I can ask questions if I need to ask questions, and it's just taught me a lot about kind of talking to people that are higher up than me.
That's good. Brooke, what
for
about you?
So obviously I work with people that are from a different generation. So I'm used to learning like the things I can say and how to talk with them, as well as how to talk to different people with different mental disabilities or physical disabilities and illnesses and everything.
Nice.
Great
Nice.
skill.
It is a great skill. It's funny because I was just on a call. This is a true story, Mr. Dolly and Mr. Anselin, with an employer who was asking me what are the best strategies to communicate with young employees. So when we talk about a skill, that it's a really important skill to develop, and that's why these experiences are important. Well, let's talk about one thing besides the communication. Hunter, what's one thing outside of communication? What's something that was like your biggest aha moment? Like you were like, "Whoa, I had no idea." Tell me one.
Well, when I first started working there, I thought it was gonna be a lot more strict with how they managed the time,
Yeah.
but I realized that it wasn't really that bad, and it's so what we need to get done is set in a certain time frame, and as long as it's done by the end of that time frame, it's good to go. And if we go over, it just gets pushed to a different department. So it's pretty fun. And
Hunter, did you take did you take any of Mr. Thomas's?
yes, I have, and it is a lot different.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. Tell me how it's different.
Kind of like Mr. Thomas, he cares a lot about how he wants to teach us, and he takes his time when he teaches us. But where I'm working, it's kind of like they teach us one time, and then we have to ask our own questions instead of them repeatedly going over it.
That's a great lead into that then, right? You had an experience where you had someone that you could take the time and ask the questions to, and then now you're really applying that, aren't you, to go, hey, the bottom line is our business needs to make money, and our business makes money if you're getting stuff done on time, and it's up to you to ask the questions.
So Brooke, I'm going to ask you, like, how did you know, like, you wanted to explore the health sciences? Did you take like biomedical engineering and medical term? And then obviously you're CNA certified from Gateway, but kind of how did you get into the health science and knew you wanted to do this? And then when you got there, what was different and unique about working in the field versus the classes?
I've always been interested in working somewhere in the medical field, and then I took my CNA class at Gateway after school last year. And I remember I'd go to high school and then I'd go to my class, and then the last little bit of my class was clinicals, and that's where I learned a lot of things that they can't teach you in the classroom, like bedside manner. And that was something to me that was really interesting and different to like actually be able to apply. Like, you can be the best CNA there is, but if you don't know how to talk to people and how to be emotionally mature and process and deal with everything, then it makes a big difference.
Jonathan, what about you, Jonathan? Like, what are some classes you took? Like, how did you know, like, ooh, I want to tell people about money and be a teller, or whatever you're doing?
Well, I've always liked math classes.
Okay, got it.
I've always liked math. It's just been something that's been kind of easy coming to me, and I enjoy doing that. I had got a job at Pizza Ranch for a while. Yeah, Pizza Ranch. So I was confident with handling money. And I guess, I saw it. Mr. Dolly sent out an email saying like there's these opportunities, and I took a look at a couple of them. And to be honest, it was just something that I was going to take a chance on and see if I enjoyed it. Because I knew if I enjoyed it, I'd stick with it, and if I didn't, I would learn how to stick it through, and then when it's over, it's over.
Yeah. And for those
So
of you
is
who are
this-
and then for those of you who are watching, the teller joke was something that happened before the show started. So it was funny to us, nobody else. Go ahead, Mr. Anzalone.
So has this experience confirmed the path you want to take after high school, or has it shown you like, I thought I wanted to do this, but you know what? I think I might want to do something else.
I think it has given me and shown me what it is, and that it is something that I want to continue to do.
Okay.
Maybe not in the exact way. I'd want to move up the ladder a little bit, but it is definitely something that has helped me confirm that accounting or finance are both two things that are very interesting to me and that I would like to pursue.
Good for you. Hunter?
Well, when I started, I wanted to do manufacturing, but then I realized that, yeah, it's a fun job, but I'm really thinking about going into the police force now after
Okay.
high school.
Good for you. And that's the idea behind this, I think, right, Mr. Trottier? Is
That's right.
sometimes we find this is where I want to go, or at really no risk, you found out I want to do something else.
Yeah, I think the cool thing is, Mr. Dolly, Hunter, there's another YA maybe happening in law enforcement. So that's another cool opportunity. I think you're right, Mr. Anzalone. Like the ability to walk away from this experience and say, I want to do this is just as important as saying, I ain't never want to do this again.
Right.
Like, this is,
Right.
like
And we
Brooke.
need good people going into law enforcement.
Yeah.
High
absolutely.
demand.
Yep. Brooke, so tell us about keep the conversation going a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that I want to stay in the medical field, but probably maybe a little less hands-on. Maybe like I've been looking into like being a therapist or a psychologist, but like still being like emotionally there for like patients and still working with people, just less of the physical aspect.
I love it. I love it.
So I have another question. Can I
Yeah,
jump
go
in?
ahead. Follow up, John.
So pretend I'm a junior.
You're just going to ask the same question I was going to.
Was it really?
Yeah, exactly. Keep going.
Okay. So I'm a junior. What would you tell me if I'm thinking like maybe I'll do this youth apprenticeship thing? What would you guys tell me?
I would say give it a shot, because if you don't like it, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to make yourself some money. And I don't think that's too bad of a conclusion, but
And get credit.
yeah, I mean the possibilities are endless really with it. I've learned so much, and I've only been there. I even started in June, actually, this past summer. I started a little early before school, and that kind of gave me a hand at it. And I think it's just really good for you.
Yeah, I agree with what John said. It's really important to look for what you want to do and not what other people are forcing you to do or wanting you to do. Just explore different careers, and maybe you'll find something that you actually want to do.
I would recommend it, and I would just say anything that you kind of have an interest in, just go for it, because yeah, like he said, I mean, making money and getting experience, knowing if this is what you want to go to college for or take further education, it's a really good experience.
Well, thank you for your advice.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to conclude with, let's just, one of the things we didn't do is we assume everybody knows what a youth apprenticeship is, right? Like, just remember, it's a certified work-based learning experience program through the Department of Workforce Development. You got to be a day after your sophomore year, work 450 hours in a pathway, complete a little paperwork, you make money. We haven't even asked you, but I'm going to go right down the line, starting with Jonathan. What's your hourly wage? Go.
Mine is $15 an hour, and then also every year I work there, I think it bumps up another 50 cents.
John or Hunter?
I make $16.50 right now, but I do have the chance to make bonuses throughout the year.
Brooke?
Mine is $17.75.
Woo! So, and you got to make at least minimum wage, complete some paperwork, and then you get a half credit, Mr. Dolly, per trimester?
Half credit per trimester. Yep.
Half credit, right? So you're earning money, getting credit. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in playing the scholarship game, it's also an honors point, so you can get some Loudy credit for it, and you get hands-on work experience, and your resume just continues to build. All right, well, we're about that time. I want to thank each of you for going on there. We're going to close in a simple way. It's really quick. We'll start with Jonathan. Name your mentor and share one thing that you appreciate or thank and why you like your mentor. You ready?
Yeah.
Go.
My mentor, her name is Megan Locke. One thing I just really like about her is she's really flexible with my schedule, whether that be with sports, school. My parents are divorced, so I go to my dad's house and my mom's house. So sometimes when it's somewhere where I can't decide that, that I have to go somewhere, she's really flexible with that. And it makes me very confident in her as boss.
My mentor, his name is Jake. And one thing I really like about him is he's always there to answer my questions. No matter what the question is, even if it's a silly little question, he'll answer it no matter how small the question is.
Nice. Brooke?
My boss is Jenny Kirkpatrick, and I like how understanding she is with scheduling and school and everything, because there have been times where I've asked to take off school so I could study, or I have shortened classes and I work longer. So
It's awesome. Mr. Dolly, anything we forgot about?
No, I think you've done a solid job today.
Wow, solid. That's awesome. Did that sound like a compliment, or was it it was okay?
Knowing Mr. Dolly, I think he was trying.
Oh, yeah.
And,
all right.
Hey, I want to thank you, Chris, or Mr. Trottier, Mr. Dolly. I want to thank you guys for all the work that you guys do to put kids in these situations and opportunities. And there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on, and these are great things for kids, and there's a lot of kids taking advantage of them. So thank for all your hard work.
Yeah, you bet. And thank you for helping us connect. Mr. Dolly, ballpark, how many kids you got in a work-based learning experience at Elkhorn Area High School right now?
I'm getting to, or if not over 50 with the 3 more that I added this morning.
Awesome. And you anticipate that growing?
Yeah, because the end of the try is in 2 weeks. So I'm guessing there will be a number of kids coming.
All right. So students, parents, families, if you want your kid to work, make money, get honors credit, earn a living, build their resume. If you're at the high school, see Mr. Dolly, your kids at Options, Career and College Academy, reach out to me, because we're up to the Career and College Academy. We set a new record already. We're almost at 15 kids, I think, with additional other experiences, and Options is slowly adding them. All right. Thank you, students and youth apprentices. We appreciate you. You guys are doing stellar work, and you guys are building your resume, and we thank you for that. Mr. Dolly, always great to see you, and thank you for setting this up. Shout out to Mrs. Rand for allowing you guys to use her office. And Mr. Anzalone, thank you for being a supporter of the program and an advocate and having your son go through it. On that note, anything else, or are we done?
Jonathan, Hunter, and Brooke, with all that money you're making, part of being on the noon whistle is you owe us a lunch. We'll catch up with you later.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Actually, Mr. Dolly owes you a lunch for doing this. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.